Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and just FYI, if you're the perfect storm of asshole and dumbass, and that perfect storm comes together to an idiotic comment, I'm going to screenshot it and post it on my Patreon and my Patreon-only Discord. And people told me they were laughing so hard they had to stop what they were doing. But yeah, special little warning for you, special little snowflakes out there. Also, if you leave blatantly incorrect information, I'm going to delete it too. Like somebody legit wrote, "You're an idiot. Oh, you're the worst card, assessor ever. Don't you know that the #1 best combo with this card is this card? And that's going to be the #1 thing, and it's going to be the #1 deck, and you're an idiot. You know nothing about pro play, blah, blah, blah." And the other card was from Kaladesh. You guys want to know a secret? Here, come really close because we're going to ASMR this. Did you know that Kaladesh is rotating out? Because I knew that. It was a good combo, though. You're just an idiot talking out your ass, but it was a good combo. Okay, this had to have been a joke, but somebody literally posted, like, "I can't believe you delete and censor comments from your comment section." Okay, first of all, if you read them, you'd believe it. You would believe the hell out of it. And secondly, the entire rest of their comment was just horrifically offensive things said about me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave that out for public view on my own channel. Literally, people like that are why I delete comments. So anyway, let's jump right into the spoilers with this wonderful French card. It's Assurance to Association. And then after I read that, I realized it was French. Like, I read the titles, which just coincidentally happened to be identical in English, and then I looked down and I'm like, what just happened? What's an ephemeri? And how do you put 3 accent marks on 3 different vowels in one word? What does that even do? How does that even work? France, just delete your stupid language and switch to our stupid language. My God. So anyway, this translates to assurances. They're both instants, by the way, which is shocking. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains indestructible till end of turn. That's cool. I mean, it's a saver spell. It's basically almost like a counter spell. And then also in the middle of combat, it's a fun little trick, or you just need something to have a counter on it. You need something to have one more attack, like a lifelink or something. I don't know. It's so universal, and then you got the hybrid mana. Fantastic card. I could see why it's rare. On the other side, you create 3/2/2 white and green elf knight creature tokens with vigilance. So obviously, you're like, well, 6, who cares? I mean, it's instant speed, so you could triple block something and kill it up to a 6 toughness. So that's cool, fun little ambush. But other than that, it's really only good in a Convoke deck. I mean, you're kind of overpaying. I mean, I think I've seen cards that cost 4 or 5 that dump out 3 tokens about that size. Yeah, they have Vigilance, and yeah, they might have, like, Knight or Elf synergy. It's pretty good, but remember, the card on the right is always supposed to be like a very far-fetched card. It's going to be like, well, if you have the mana, I guess you could do this, but it's like the whole point is it's kind of overpriced. It's kind of like Strive. Like, you'd really pay like 10 mana to target 3 creatures with this spell, but yeah, if you have it, sure. It's not supposed to cost 10. You're overpaying to add targets. That's the point. So yeah, I mean, you can swing with these, Vigilance, Tada, second main phase, tap them for Convoke. And then the funny thing is, the first card can save a really big, like, convoked creature, like some huge, giant thing. Okay, now you're granting it indestructible, and it's bigger. So this card, yeah, absolutely fantastic in Convoke. We'll just have to see if there is enough control and board wipes and mass kill to stop Convoke, or if there is not. And also, Convoke isn't the fastest thing in the world, so if you're on turn 3, 4, and 5, forced to keep, like, chump blocking some giant crap coming at you with either green or red, it's just not going to work. But if it does work, ooh, it looks pretty good. I might build it regardless. I just like Convoke. Plus, remember, Huatli's still legal. So next up, we've got Irelia, Exemplar of Justice. Hey, I read it correctly this time. And in keeping with red-white angels being absolutely bonkers, this is a 2/5 with flying and mentor. That 2 attack and mentor, I mean, yeah, nothing in there is going to block it and kill it probably, except for a dragon, which actually there's a lot of right now, but, boy, 2 attack with mentor, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control, doesn't say other creature, until end of turn that creature has +2 attack, gains trample if it's red, and gains vigilance if it's white. I feel like this shouldn't have been able to target itself, but then again, it's a 2/5 for 4 legendary angel. Like, it almost should have been a 4/5 with vigilance and trample to begin with. Okay, maybe for 5 mana. So yeah, this is actually pretty damn good. I mean, it's a mythic, so yeah, no joke. So yeah, mentor going off with this having 4 attack, now we're talking. And it also has vigilance, so you can block in the air, or hell, you can block stuff on the ground. She has 5 toughness. I mean, this is crazy. This is going to be a damn good card, and this is an example of, yes, a powerful, flexible, interesting card that has some subtle interactions with other stuff in the correct board state, but not too specific. It could be really, really, really good, and standalone it's not bad either, and you can drop it in, turn the tide of the game, and it's, you know, legendary, so you can't get too out, because that would be a little much. It's a perfectly designed, appropriately powerful card. Simple as that. I mean, they could learn from whoever designed this. I mean, you look at Scarab God compared to this, it's like, okay, that person should be fired and this person should be promoted. Clearly. Next up, another ass quality cell phone shot of maybe a paper card. What is with Asia? Do they not have computers there? Like, did they mail this to them in the mail? That's somebody's first impression of these cards when they're looking at the spoilers? Are you kidding me? Well, I guess it's a good way to work them into actually opening the real card when it's going to be some curled, misprinted, cut to the left garbage. So anyway, this maybe says Conclave Centaur. It's a white-green knight, and white knights and white-black knights is already pretty nuts, and most of the knights are white. So, hey, convoke knights, watch out. And this has natural vigilance. It's a 4/4. And by the way, there's one card in every guild that's the double color, and they all cost 4. Just FYI, this is part of a set or a cycle or whatever the hell they call it. And when Conclave Centaur dies, create 2. Oh God, this is grim. It just hit me how they did this. Create 2 green and white 2/2 elf knight creature tokens with vigilance. Really? Why not make 1 elf knight and 1 horse token? Because I'm pretty damn sure that's what they were implying. That is dark, Wizards. That is really dark. So this is the Centaur version of Wormcoil Engine. Anyway, this doesn't have natural Convoke, but it does have Vigilance, so okay, it's useful in Convoke. It's a 4/4 for 4, okay. And then you gotta kill it twice, and when you do, you basically +1 the creature count instead of -1 it. Not bad. With that really tight mana cost, I'm not sure this will be worth putting in a Convoke deck, but you're going to have that mid-range. You can't just have a bunch of, dummy crap and tokens or whatever, and then a high end and that's it. It usually doesn't work. You need something mid-range. It's really hard to swing against a 4/4, especially when it's always on defense because it always has Vigilance. So this is likely a lot better than people are thinking when they first see it, but it's also, like, not that good. Just wait till you see some of the other cards in the spoiler list. So next up we got Conclave Guild Mage. This is a 2/2 for 2 in, I still don't remember what guild that is. I think I called it Selesnya next time and I don't think that was correct. Whatever, whoever these people are. So it's an elf cleric. Gotta wonder about that elf tribal or if it's just like flavor, story, lore, whatever, because elves live there. But yeah, you pay 1 green, tap it. Creatures you control gain trample till end of turn. Wow, all creatures. All of them for 1 mana. That is insane. If you pay 6 with 1 white, so 6 total, create a 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token with vigilance. So apparently that's pretty common. This is so much worse than Ovia on that second ability. It's laughable, but I guess if you have way too much mana in a Convoke deck, might as well bring on another creature. I guess that's what they were going for. So like in context, it's not that bad, but paying 6 for a crappy 2/2 little vigilant token is pretty bad, obviously. But yeah, I'm worried about that green. Holy crap, just everything has trample, just straight up. Now in a Convoke deck, I mean, okay, if somebody's going to block your little 1/1s and your 2/2s, who cares? You know, ooh, so much trample. But if you did get your Convoke bombs out, watch out. Or, I don't know, you can maybe put this in like a splashed white green ramp deck and then just give all your, like, well, let's be honest, dinosaurs trample, which would be insane. Like, that could be lethal so much quicker, and this is a turn 2 drop if your mana's on point, which you'd almost have to be running a 50-50 Convoke split color deck instead of like splash white to be guaranteed to have a white on like turn 2. Next up, totally epic artwork on here. We've got Connive or Concoct. And Concoct, it's like, oh, I can't really see the person's face. And, oh, look, they're dead. Ooh, Shyamalan twist. So Connive actually costs 4 in its sorcery. So gain control of target creature with power 2 or less. You know, I was going to point out that it doesn't say until end of turn. But I think we all know that that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I mean, compared to like Active Treason, 4 costs, only power 2 or less, only creatures, it costs 1 more than Kefnets. I think you get to keep it. So that's kind of cool. I was still thinking Entrancing Melody's better, and I believe that'll still be legal. I think that was from the Ixalan block. I mean, remember Kid Ramper, my ramp deck that kidnapped stuff? Yeah, that deck was insane. But the whole point of it was you just stole their best creature, or their best, well, permanent in some cases. This, I mean, you better grab something that's like a 2/7 or something. I don't know. I mean, you could grab something with some crazy ability. It's not worthless. But then Concoct is Surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh. So if you just put a 12/12 into the graveyard with that Surveil 3, you bring it right back, same spell, same resolution, and the spell has to resolve all at once. You can't have an opponent respond in the middle of the spell's resolution. So that part of it is nuts, especially for 5. I mean, this is Rise from the Grave, but way better. Like, way, 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 way better. Anybody else notice that this is such a Golgari card? So yeah, Golgari mixed with Dimir is probably going to be one of the better decks out there. Just self-mill, graveyard dump, control spam, you know, creatures in the way blocking, and then on top of it, okay, resurrect something big after you milled it. So basically my Elzombly deck, which of course was the Eldrazi Resurrector deck. So that looks pretty darn good. Next up, we've got Crackling Drake. So this is Izzet's version of these cards that cost 2 and 2. It has 4 toughness, and it's a flying Drake creature, and its power is equal to the total number of instants and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. When Crackling Drake enters battlefield, draw a card, because of course you get to. Oh my gosh, I hate Izzet so much. It's not even out yet, and I hate it. You know why? Because people are already playing this deck with this card. If you thought this looked familiar, yes, that's because there's basically an identical version of it. Actually, this one's a little bit better. Hey guys, remember when instead of exile, they actually called it what it is and what it should be, which is removed from game? Pepperidge Farms remembers. And that draw a card on top of it is just ridiculous. Having 2 Enigma Drakes legal in standard with all the other crap they're giving Izzet is just pissing me off. And then you finish the game with Ral as your Planeswalker. This deck is just toxic garbage. Trust me, I am not overreacting to this deck. Even if 5% of people play it and it doesn't even show up at the Pro Tour, it's still draw, discount spells. Oh, look, I'm casting spells and I'm getting a benefit for it. Counterspell everything, blow up everything, direct damage everything, burn everything, and then that's the mechanic. You cast a spell, it's countered. You bring out a creature, it's gone. You try to do something to blow this up, countered. Bring out a creature to block it, it's gone. And every time they cast a spell, they replace it with another spell right off the top of the library. Utterly ridiculous. Any deck that doesn't let your opponent play their deck at all should be banned. It just shouldn't even be printed in the first place. So yeah, Izzet's gonna be a real treat. Next up, we got Dimir Spybug. 1/1 for 2 with Flying and Menace. That's annoying. Let's see. When you Surveil, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, well that'll just win the game on about turn 6. Hey, remember this card for the very near future. You're gonna need to reference this card in a second. Next up, Disinformation Campaign. It's a 3-cost Dimir enchantment. When Disinformation Campaign enters the battlefield, you draw a card and each opponent discards a card. That's annoying. Whenever you Surveil, return Disinformation Campaign to its owner's hand. Oh, that'll be fun. You guys knew that the Surveil, synergy cards were coming, right? Like, you didn't think they were just going to leave it at Surveil? But wait, there is more. Enhanced Surveillance. You may look at an additional 2 cards every time you Surveil. Exile Enhanced Surveillance, shuffle your graveyard into your library. And this costs 2. It's not legendary. What the actual hell, wizards? And it's in the uncommon slot. I don't even have words for this. This should be double color, mythic rarity, and legendary. This is crazy. There are cards that say Surveil 3. I mean, there are recurring Surveil triggers. Like, you're just going to be able to handpick whatever you want out of your deck. Right now, I think the best Surveil deck you could build would probably loop itself twice in one game. That's how bad this is. So yeah, this card really pisses me off, and the fact that you can have 2 out, and you're going to have 2 out because you're going through your deck like 10 cards at a time every single fucking turn. Completely and utterly out of control and ridiculous. So next up, we've got House Guild Mage. I'm not 100% sure that this wasn't an earlier spoiler video, but mythicspoilers.com doesn't seem capable of putting these in chronological order, which is ironic because I know they do, I just sure as shit can't find the link. So anyway, you pay 2 and target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, but this doesn't actually tap it. So yeah, Pacification Rate was a better card, nobody played that. So you pay 3 and Surveil 2. Hey, look at that, a recurring Surveil ability. What do you know? So by Surveil 2, they actually mean Surveil 6. And then, let's see, every time you Surveil, what is it? Draw a card, deal 1 damage, and I already forgot what the rest say. I'll put a counter on that stupid bug. Oh, you think they're going to blow up your bug? Or this? Not if you're surveilling 15 cards per turn and you're just like, oh, I bet I could use a counter spell. This deck is going to be broken. Whenever you let somebody scry this much, it's broken. Add the automatic graveyard resurrection. I'm putting Dimir at the number 2 guild right now. So next up we got, oh god, what the hell does this say? Join shields. Oh boy, it's a 5-cost instant. Untap all your creatures, they gain indestructible and hexproof until end of turn. You think I'm just gonna have 5 mana open to do this in case of emergency? No, I'm not. Not saying it's not a good card, it is. It's actually hilarious, but if your entire Convoke deck has Vigilance, why would you need to untap them? But also, yeah, hexproof and indestructible, cool, you just saved them all, but Heroic Intervention was a little bit cheaper than this, just a hair. So yeah, this could be the mother of all combat tricks, but honestly, just having another creature that costs 5 would probably be better. I think Make a Stand is honestly a better card. You're just not going to have 5 mana open when you need this, and it's so narrow on when you would need it, I would just not even consider it. And next up we got Lizzie the Multifarious, which I'm very sure is not a word. Oh, for even worse than nefarious, what do we call you? Oh, Multifarious. So this, of course, is the leader of the Demure Guild, although he'll never admit it, even though everybody knows it. When he enters the battlefield, surveil 1, because of course, and then you may pay X, just straight X, and he's a 1/3 by the way. He becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, so you don't even have to bring it out, just copy it. With converted mana cost X, okay, that brings it back down to earth. Except its name is Lizzie the Multifarious. Nice. It's legendary in addition to its other types. Good. And it has this ability. Okay. So if you have a 10-cost creature in your graveyard, you'd need 10 mana to turn this into it. So this, I mean, it's powerful, it's flexible, it's amazing, and he comes out for 2. That's pretty nuts, but it's not broken because you still, to get a copy of whatever's in your graveyard, still have to pay the full price for it. There are exceptions, things that have low mana costs but secondary costs, you know, additional casting costs, whatever, but whatever. So yeah, this is just pretty good. I mean, if you needed some kind of weird tribal synergy or something, yeah, throw it in. So next up we got League Guild Mage, and this is also part of 5-color, 5-guild, whatever thing, whatever you call it. There's more of these. And they're all called guild mages, and the first word has like nothing to do with what the guild does, so that was weird. Looks like she's got Thanos' gauntlet there, so I hope she snaps and just blows up all of Ravnica. That'd be awesome. Or you know what? Just blow up all of Izzet and let's say Golgari too. I hate them too. You know what? Screw Demure. They're too sneaky. So anyway, 2/2 for 2, Human Wizard, and it's on color with Dominaria Wizard, so this could go in 2 different decks. You pay 4, draw a card, and, you know, that's okay. A little overpriced, you're probably not casting it this turn, but if you had a mountain of mana, okay. Then X red, copy target instant or sorcery spell that you control with converted mana cost X. You may choose new targets for that copy. So once again, they don't want you cloning like an 8 cost. They put a limit on that other one too. I think it was like 4. So you can only clone small spells, but you know, that's cool. Like you didn't have to draw them, which is kind of ironic because the whole thing about Izzet is drawing cards nonstop. So yeah, I mean, it's a burn deck, it's a control deck, it's a late game deck, it's a mid-range deck. The Izzet deck is going to be the perfect deck. They're probably actually going to have to ban it. But is this good enough to be in that deck? Well, it does nothing with your counter spells. It does feed your hand, but very slowly and only if you're desperate. It is a human wizard, okay. I mean, there's that. But, you know, what spell would be worth copying to the point where you put this in instead of it? Like, if you ran Lightning Strike and Shock, would you really drop Shock to put this in to clone your Lightning Strike? Probably not. Obviously, those cards aren't apples to apples, but, you know, would you really drop a counter spell or a direct damage or removal spell to run this card instead? Maybe. I mean, it would be your backup draw thing, and it could be a chump blocker, but it doesn't scream yes automatic include. So next up, we got a blurry as crap image of Legion Guild Mage. This is one of the 5, by the way. I think we've seen the other 3. Either that or this is the one where we're waiting on 2 more to be spoiled. Whatever. So it's 2/2 for 2. Imagine that. You pay 6 and deals 3 damage to each opponent. So just straight up, nah, I'm going to burn you, you know. You could do this every turn if you had mana left over, but if you did, what the hell happened to your deck and what are you drawing? So kind of a last-ditch effort there. Or if you're just having trouble getting through, just do this every single turn. Boom. And it's only just like, oh my god, he's at 6, I need to do this twice and win the game. This will not take out a creature. It's only damage to each opponent. And then, this is the good ability. You pay 3 and tap another target creature. Obviously, way overpriced compared to most tap abilities, but it's also not blue. So there's that. But yeah, Pacification Array, the pinnacle of tapping, this costs a lot more, and it's easier to blow up than an artifact because it's a creature. But tapping their biggest, most powerful creature is going to be crucial for the Mentor deck. So if you had 3 mana available, yeah, I mean, that's pretty steep, but this would enable you to swing with like a 4/2 safely in some cases. Well, and especially in a removal heavy deck, hell, you could just win the game by tapping this. But remember, then you don't get to attack with this 2/2, so it better be worth it. Next up, oh look, another one, Swarm Guild Mage. So 2/2 for 2, obviously. I'm just gonna read the bottom one first, because in my opinion, they put these backwards. You pay 2, tap it, gain 2 life. Cool. If you got 2 mana and this guy's not untapped during your opponent's end step, why the hell not? You pay 4 and creatures, or 5. I can do the math. Creatures you control gain +1 attack and menace until end of turn. Wow, that is about as bad as the one where you pay 1 green and they all have trample. I mean, 1 green versus 5 and a black, or 4 and a black, whatever, 5 total, that's nuts. But all of your creatures needing to be double blocked? Yeah, this could be so completely lethal. I mean, it's a lot of mana, but what you get for it is dangerous. So next up, wow, how many of these are there? Geez, we got Swiftblade Vindicator. It's a creature, human soldier, wonderful. 1/1, double strike, vigilance, trample. This, by the way, is the Mentor deck. This is the point of it. It's a 1/1, but not really because it has double strike, but for the purposes of Mentor, it's a 1/1. It's always going to be a 1/1, and it's vigilance and trample, so it's always attacking while also being able to block. Like I said, this is the whole point of the Mentor deck, this one card. So if Mentor takes off, boom, $10 card right here. I mean, double strike and trample is crazy, and then vigilance, they ain't swinging back. So remember, Mentor is like you have to swing every turn with virtually everything. That's why Vigilance is so important. Remember, there's some crossover with White Vigilance in the White-Green deck. So if you were to play 3-color Mexican Flag, oh, I'm sure there's some shard of Alara that it's called this. Shut up. It's a Mexican Flag. Piss off. Hey, I'm playing Jeskai. That's funny because none of your cards are from cons and we're not even on that plane. So I guess you're not playing Jeskai, so you should probably shut up. If you're new here, I take issue with all these stupid nicknames that douchey pro wannabe players, say that confuse new players. I still haven't learned all the cons and the guilds and the dragons and the frickin' shards and all this other bullshit. It's because I don't want to use those terms sounding like some stuck-up elitist asshole. If you say Mexican Flag or America, I'm playing an America deck, people know exactly what you're talking about. So stop being a pretentious douchebag and just say what the color combination is. If I'm running a Christmas deck, you know damn well what colors it is. It's Christmas colors. See, next set, you can call it an Orzhov deck because it's an Orzhov deck. It has cards from Orzhov in it. The artwork is people who are in the Orzhov guild. Outside of that, it's not called an Orzhov deck. It's called the Michael Jackson deck. And 5 colors is called Skittles. Everybody knows that. Taste the rainbow. So anyway, this card's insane, and it's rare, so it makes sense. I mean, it seems like they really did put in the rare slot the absolute best cards, except Dimir. They seem to have a problem putting the good cards anywhere but the uncommon slot, but okay. So next up, because apparently there's more, Trostani Discordant. It's a legendary creature Dryad. Ooh, get that Dryad tribal going. It's a 1/4 for 5, so it better be good. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. That's a good start, especially with Banalish Marshal and going in a Convoke deck. When Trostani Discordant enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Okay, especially in Convoke. At the beginning of your end step, each player gains control of all creatures they own. That's obscure, but okay, if they kidnapped one of your creatures, you get it back, so it undoes literally 1 card from Dimir, and that's it. Oh, and Entrancing Melody. Everything else is cycling out. So, I mean, okay, nice little bonus there. I guess stealing and kidnapping is going to be a thing, which is kind of Dimir's thing, so watch for that in future spoilers. So, I mean, a 1/4 for 5 doesn't really progress the game, but, I mean, you get the 2 1/1 tokens, so it's kind of like bringing out a 3/6 for 5, which wouldn't be as bad. They have lifelink, which is cool, and then they add your creature count, which is great for Huatli, and rest in peace appeal. I guess we're not going to play that. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good, and then if anybody steals something, you can take it back. So if you're running Convoke and you bring out a giant bomb and the first thing they do is steal it, you get it back. It's cool, but I mean, keep in mind, this doesn't have Convoke, and we haven't seen a card that grants Convoke to other spells yet. Not sure there will be one, I'm not sure. Or if there was one, I feel like maybe there was one. I don't know, maybe I just read past it, who cares? But yeah, this is 5, so you'd have to get to 5, like, naturally. What it does is pretty good, but that's a little high. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Convoke deck is supposed to ramp up really quick and flood really quick. There ain't nothing quick about this. And then they made it a mythic and they made it legendary. That's kind of weird. I mean, yeah, you get the +1 field bonus, which is absolutely huge. But usually just for safety, especially with Settle the Wreckage, you don't swing with your little Convoke tokens, your little 1/1s. You win the game with the giant Convoke stuff, the stuff that has Convoke. But I have a feeling that this time around that's a little bit too all in, and they went with, let's let them boost their tokens or creatures, whatever, small creatures as well, just so that they can win that way, maybe. But yeah, you're going to get settled the wreckaged, and if you don't, somebody will put in a board wipe of some sort from their sideboard. Trust me. Plus, how good is Convoke going to be with Plague Mirror and Chain Whirler still there? Chain Whirler basically killed this entire guild. The entire mechanic and the keyword and everything is just dead. So, yeah. Might want to do something about that, wizards. Next up, what the hell is this? Okay, True Fire Captain, maybe. This is one of those things that costs 4, you get it. It's a 4/3 human knight, that's huge. Get ready for white knights with splash red. Whenever True Fire Captain is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. Ooh. Oh, it's like those old school Karma cards. Oh my gosh. This isn't quite Wall of Essence, but it's almost better. Although I believe Wall of Essence cost 2, so I mean, and it was mono. So yeah, this is crazy. There is no way to kill this in combat without shooting yourself in the foot. There just isn't. The problem is, in a mentor deck, this ain't gonna get mentored, like, ever. It has 4 power. I just don't see that happening real often. But, like, do you even need to? This thing's like a bomb. It just comes rushing at you, and you're like, oh, crap. It's like super wither. Well, except the opposite. I mean, I wouldn't say this is comparable to Phyrexian Obliterator. Not even close, even though it's the same casting cost. But it's similar. Where, if you want to kill it in combat, it's gonna hurt you. Phyrexian Obliterator, by the way, is this with Annihilator, basically. Whenever it's dealt damage, whoever the source was, they have to exile that many permanents. It's a 5/5 trampler. So not only did you probably lose the blocker, but you just lost 5 permanents minimum. That is one of the absolute best cards ever printed in the history of the game. It's in my modern deck, by the way. So yeah, we got some pretty crazy crap. I mean, there's, stuff like the Angel where I'm like, yeah, power, let's do it. I want to play that. And then we got stuff like that stupid Dimir bug that's like, okay, that's a little way too much. What? And then you got just outright broken garbage like that stupid, Conclave Guild Mage where you pay 1 green and everything is trample, screw you. People would play cards that would do that as an instant, and then once you cast it, it's gone, it's done. Like, this is every turn, every time. You gotta waste a kill spell on a 2/2 that cost a mere 2 mana just to get rid of this constant threat. I really can't stand certain deck types, and like I said, one is just draw, and then not let you play your deck. Just blue-white, control spam, anything from Izzet at all. Possibly even Dimir with all that, send it in the graveyard and handpick whatever you need on your opponent's next turn bullshit. When 3 guilds are looking like that might be what they're doing, Standard isn't going to be fun. And when Standard doesn't get fun, people leave. But then you've got things that kind of resemble Red Rush, where it's just run them over, power, you can't stop me, screw you. It's just another way of you don't get to play your deck. If they're going to beat you on turn 4 every single time, or turn even 5, like where the game's basically over on turn 4, they just haven't technically won yet, but their board state indicates there's nothing you can do. Those aren't fun either, because then every deck that's viable competitively, or that you can even vaguely play at F&M, has to be that faster. And they aren't. Look, you want to play Red-Green Dinosaur Ramp? Too bad. Too slow. 2 turns too slow. Oh well. Well, there goes creativity. There goes deck building options. I mean, nothing should win before turn 6 in Standard, obviously, unless your opponent just completely got obliterated on their mulligans or something. So yeah, decks that are way too fast and decks that do nothing but draw and control. Horrible for Standard. Everybody hates them. And just about this whole entire set looks like that. The only one that looks fair is Convoke, and it's going to get absolutely shredded by board wipes and sweepers. So I think we can write them off pretty easily. So the other 4 guilds look pretty toxic, and we're not going to see another set of 5 guilds until the next set. So, yeah, and all the fun ones are in the next set, too, like Orzhov and Azorius. So, yeah, this is starting to look concerning, but once again, with 4 sets dropping out, and then this entire huge set with 5 drastically different color combinations coming out, who knows what's going to be popular? I mean, a lot of times you look at a mechanic, you look at a set of cards, and you're like, well, that's overpowered, and then you go to build it, and you're like, this doesn't work. Nothing in this deck costs under 3, so I got to run like 24 lands to make sure I can get to 3 consistently every single game, and then I'm just land flooded and it's not good enough, it's too slow, and then it just all falls apart. So yeah, it had some powerful cards that had crazy synergy, it's just it's not a realistic deck. So that could happen to anything we're looking at, except for Izzet. I can already tell you right now that's broken. It has an early game, it has a mid game, it has a late game. That deck's perfect. The whole guild is fucking perfect, and it pisses me off. So that deck's going to be a problem no matter what. Like I said, they're probably going to have to ban it. I'm already concerned that they haven't banned blue-white control, though, because, like, literally nothing from that cycling out, so awesome. So we already have one toxic deck. The question is, how many more toxic decks will there be? And at the beginning, when we only knew about 21 cards, I was like, yeah, this is some subtle, wide open crap. This is like build whatever you want. I should have known better. This is Ravnica. You build one of the guilds, you use one of their mechanics, that's it. They have basically built the decks for you. They thought they were balanced, and then you just can capitalize on whatever R&D forgot or missed or didn't realize had synergy with Ixalan. They're selling you 5 guilds, and might as well just build your deck for you and sell you the damn deck, which they're also doing, by the way. Whatever they're calling those new event decks, those are a thing. And then we got the Planeswalker decks, and then those other starter decks. And yeah, they did build your deck for you. So yeah, this whole set's looking a hell of a lot less fun than it was before. And your options for building like really wacky stuff are really low when there's 5 sets legal. But of course, 8 is way too many. So yeah, we're in for a hell of a mess, but we'll see. I mean, it might turn out perfect. Who knows? That is still an option. Except for the proven deck blue-white that can't be beat right now. And, well, mono-red's going to cycle out. And then is it, which, duh. So if those two get taken care of with bans, who knows how good the rest of the decks will be. I think Dimir will be one of the absolute best, though. And my prediction is Convoke will fall flat on its face. Too many sweepers. It's too bad of a matchup against the other guilds. It's just going to sit there and do nothing. But who knows? That could be the fastest, most reliable deck ever with all these, indestructible whatever. So, never know till it comes out. I'm just reporting what it looks like so far. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.